is going on, everybody? It is your boy Arrows here, and we have a new video for you guys. Really excited. One of my favorite cards coming out of the set. I still also have a top 10 favorite cards to record for you guys next week for Fabled. Makes perfect sense to put my top 10 new favorite Fabled cards out the week of Fabled. Next week's videos are excited because we're going to be opening up Fabled on the channel on Friday. I'm really super excited for that. Just a great lineup of videos. So really excited. Again, I always want to thank you guys for the decent amount of support you have given this channel. I greatly appreciate it. We have partially rebranded on Twitch and here. We're no Arrows Gaming anywhere. We're all just Arrows TC, which isn't new for YouTube, but it is for Twitch. So like, really cool to see that come over here and that here go over there, which is pretty awesome. But we are talking about Scar today. Scar finally king. Now let me just say, this card, not only does this card have a fantastic enchanted, arguably one of the best enchanteds in this set, which is hard to say because literally every enchanted in this set is amazing. It also has a really neat, awesome regular art too. I love how Scar is just like leaning on the border of the card by his name. But anyway, enough about the beautifulness of this art. We are talking about Scar as a card. He's a 5-cost uninkable, 5/4, quests for 2 with the abilities Be Grateful and Stick With Me. Be Grateful gives ally characters a +1 strength, which is fantastic because it combos really well with his other ability Stick With Me. At the end of the turn, if this character is exerted, you may draw cards equal to the strength of chosen ally character of yours. If you do, choose 2 cards and banish that character. Choose and discard 2 cards and banish that character. So keep in mind that you're discarding the 2 cards no matter how many cards you draw. So the 2 decks I want to show you today are a support Scar with Sapphire and a challenge Scar with Ruby. But you could also do a support Scar with Amber. My mind blanked there with Amber because there's a lot of support characters in there, and I think that there are a lot of good Emerald cards that give you some strength, and of course then you can pair Scar up with the Heroes. But we are talking about these 2 today. I think Scar is a very good card, especially in a world where there's not a ton of generic card draw. So for the colors. So let's get into the deck. We're going to show you the support deck first. Then we're going to talk about the challenge deck second. So the support deck has 19 uninkables. I'm not overly a fan of, but we are running 4 copy of Tipo, and we are running 4 copy of Sail. So hopefully we'll be able to offset that a little bit. I did contemplate putting in some copies of One Jump Ahead, but I didn't know if that would offset if the increased number of inkables would offset our ability to blind ink. So that's where we are with this. If you guys have any suggestions to cut this down, I would love to hear. So starting off, we are running 4 copies of a Jasmine Resourceful Infiltrator. 1 cost, 1/2. When you play this character, you may give another chosen character resist 1 until the start of your next turn. Really good card. Being able to keep certain things on the pieces on the board, even for a little bit extra, is amazing. We have 4 copies of Happy Lively Knight. He's a 2/1 quest for 1 1-drop inkable that has evasive on our turn with his ability Burst of Speed. 3 copies of Chicha. Now Chicha, the big core of this deck is to give support to your allies, to then banish them with Scar and draw a bunch of cards. Chicha helps with that. Chicha, Dedicated Mother, is a 2/1 uninkable 2-cost quest for 1. She has support, so whenever this character quests, you may add their strength onto another chosen character's strength for the turn, and she has the ability 1 on the way. During your turn, when you put a card into your inkwell, if it is the second card you put into your inkwell this turn, you may draw a card. We do have a few cards in here that enable us to ink an extra time in turn, so Chicha works really well here to get us some early card draw. Especially with Tipo. Tipo is a 1/2 quest for 1, 2-cost inkable with the ability Measure Me Again. When you play this character, you may put a card from your hand into your inkwell. face down and exerted. If you have a bunch of uninkables, you can make them work here with Tipo because you're going to be able to ink one of them when you play a Tipo. We have 3 copies of Doc Bold Knight. Doc is an uninkable 2 with a 1/3 stat line, a quest for 1, and it has the ability Drastic Measures. When you play this character, you may discard your hand to draw 2 cards. I'm playing a Infinity format version of Heroes and Allies right now, Sapphire Steel, and there have been a couple times where I've had just Doc in my hand, and I've played it, and I've gotten 2 free cards. Never say no to that. 3 copies of Alice Growing Girl. I love this card. We are in a format now where there are less effective ways, where there is not as many effective ways to get rid of low-cost characters. Brawl is gone. Sisu is gone. We still have the little 3-cost Sisu, the 1/1 with evasive. But outside of that, there's no real easy permanent way to get a character with 4 costs off the board, with a 4 willpower off the board, unless you're going to double fire the cannons or fire the cannons and challenge into it, or you're going to get off a strong Strength of Raging Fire. So I really like this Alice in this build. She pairs very well with the Scar because she's going to give all of our characters support, which is fantastic. And then she has the ability, what did I do? Well, this character has 10 strength or more, she gets 4. So you could even, if you're waiting for Scar, but you can pull this off and you can get this card 10 strength, then fantastic. 3 copies of Robin Hood, Eye for Detail. He is just in here because he's a 3/3 that has support. So we can give a 3 support to one of our allies and get a ton of card draw off of Scar. We are running 3 copies of Lawrence, Jealous Manservant. Lawrence is a 3-cost 0/4 quest for 2. Well, this character has no damage. He gets 4. Even if you would just want to play him and then just banish him with Scar to get 4 cards and discard 2, that's still a really good play. Obviously, if you can quest with him, that's fantastic. But honestly, just being able to play him, quest with Scar for 2, and then banish him to gain 4 cards and only have to discard 2 is just, it's too good. 3 copies of Pete, games referee, because we don't want songs to be messing with our strategies. We need our strats, especially when Scar is on the field. We want to keep Scar on the field for as long as possible so we can be doing crazy card draw stuff. This shuts off World's Greatest Criminal Mind, Mother Knows Best, a strong Strength of Raging Fires, Be King Undisputed. Really good card. 3 copies of Clarabelle. Clarabelle is a 3/3 that costs 4. She quests for 2, and she says our other characters with support get +1. So with Alice giving everything support, everything's going to get a +1, which is fantastic. 4 copies of Jasmine, Steady Strategist. She is a 2/5 that quests for 1. She's a shift 2. This will enable us to start getting our allies into hand. Whenever this character quests, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal an ally character and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. This also lets us dig through our deck to position us better to have a Scar ready to go if we don't open with one. And then she pairs up really well with Aladdin. Whenever this character quests, you may play an ally character with cost 3 or less for free. And he has a 2/4 that quests for 2. And when he's exerted, your ally characters get +1. So we're just doing a really good job of powering up our allies and then banishing them with Scar to draw a ton of cards. We have Donald. Donald is another really good ramper in the 5-cost slot. He's also a 3/4 that quests for 2. With the ability Baffling Mystery, when you play this character, you may put the top card of your deck into your Inkwell face down and exerted. We're, of course, running 4 copies of our Scar because we want to see this card as often as possible so we can be banishing ally characters and gaining a ton of cards. Of course, if you're playing blue and you can make it work, you are, of course, running 3 copies of Hades. We do still ramp in this deck, so this is still a viable option early game. When you play this character, you may put chosen opposing character into their player's inkwell face down. For our actions, we're running 3 copies of Fire the Cannons just to keep early board presence and keep a bunch of our allies safe. We're running 4 copies of Sail the Azurite Sea. This turn, you may put an additional card from your hand into your inkwell face down, and you can draw a card. And we're running Strength of a Raging Fire. So this, I feel this build is probably going to be like the more like, you could obviously still make some changes in here to get more allies in here if you wanted to. Right now, we run a total of 4, 7, 10, 14, 17, 20. Right now, we're running a total of 20 allies in here. So we're going to hit them off. We're going to more than likely going to hit them off of Jasmine. Outside of Clarabelle, all of our allies are 3 cost or less. So we're going to be able to play them off of Aladdin. So I think this is a really strong build for Scar to really wreak some havoc in and draw some cards with. And I'm pretty excited. We're getting a ton of power from different cards if we have to challenge into stuff to get rid of it. I really like this build. So we're going to look at the challenge build right now. So for the challenge build of this deck of Scar, we've just kind of taken pretty much a skeleton of like your challenge deck, and we've just kind of reworked it a little bit to add in some more cards that are going to give you attack power so that you can hopefully survive and hit for some big damage. So cards that have stayed in from the other version of the deck are, of course, our Scar, our Docs, our Happies, and our Lyles, but we do have some new options that are pretty good. We're running 4 copies of Card Soldier, a 1-drop, 1/2, that quest for 1, that says when a damaged character is in play, it doesn't have to be your damaged character, this card gets +2. We're running 4 copies of Mulan, Sky Soldier, Storyborn Hero Princess 2/1. When you play this character, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. This is really good. This is going to hopefully get us into Scars if we don't open with it. 4 copies of Lumiere. Our other characters get +1. 4 copies of this Tinkerbell. She's actually really good because if we have her out, we can do stuff and play a Scar on our turn, and we can exert that Scar to gain 2 lore, and then that Scar's ability is going to kick in at the end of turn to give us hopefully a good amount of cards. 2 copies of Li Shang, just because we would like to challenge ready characters, and when he has damage on him, he gets +2, which is fantastic. 3 copies of Fazu. I'm bad at pronouncing this card's name. I apologize immensely. He's a 2/3, 3 cost, quest for 1. Whenever one of your characters challenges another character, if it is the second challenge this turn, gain 3 lore. We are challenging characters a lot, so might as well. 3 copies of this Genie, Satisfied Dragon. He is a 3/4, quest for 1, and he's another character that's going to give us evasive on our turn. 4 copies of this Mushu. This Mushu is a strong 5-drop. He is a Storyborn Ally Dragon 4/4 that quests for 1. And he has the abilities Intimidating and Awe-Inspiring and Guardian of Lost Souls. Whenever one of your characters challenged, they gain resist 2 during that challenge, which means they'll take 2 less damage. During your turn, whenever one of your characters banishes another character in a challenge, gain 2 lore. So we're kind of speed loring in this deck as well as doing our stuff with Scar. We're running 4 copies of Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, another ally with a strong cost. When you play this character, deal 1 damage to each opposing character. And Puny Pirate, during your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may deal 2 damage to that chosen opposing character. She also shifts for 4, so we are going to be able to play her on our other Tinkerbell for cheaper if we want to. And of course, we have 3 copies of Mulan, a Imperial General. She is a 7 cost, but she shifts for 5 onto another character named Mulan. She's a 5/6 with evasive. Whenever this character challenges another character, your other characters gain. This character can challenge ready characters turn. We have some new actions. We have 3 copies of Lead the Way. Your characters get +2 this turn. All of your characters a blanketed effect. So we're going to give all of our allies +2, which lets us banish them for Scar for a lot of cards. And then all 9 of our items give us a plus of some sort. We have medallion weights. We can tap it and pay 2. Chosen character gets +2. Whenever they challenge another character this turn, you get to draw a card. We have Ruby Coil. During our turn, whenever we ink a card, chosen character gets +2 for this turn. And we have Training Staff, which doesn't give us a +2 technically, but it is going to allow us to challenge down into some bigger threats with our cards. We play it and we tap 1. We tap it and pay 1. Chosen character gains challenge to turn. This will enable us to take out some bigger threats, which is fine. All in all, I definitely think I prefer the support version to this. In this build, we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 18, 21, 24, 27, 31. Yeah, 31. 35 allies in this build, so you're going to get lots of use out of Scar. You could theoretically make a case for Aladdin in this build as well, because with the exception of this Tinkerbell and this Mushu, all of our allies are 3 cost or less. So you could potentially play them with the Aladdin. So you could make a play for that Aladdin, in which case I would probably drop one of the Mushus and one of the Tinkerbells and add in 2 of that Aladdin. I think that'd be a really good play. Again, like I said, I don't know how well these decks are going to function. Challenge is positioned really well in the next format, and I really think that this build of having more allied base for them could be really good. You could also, if you were okay with upping your Inkables a little bit, you could run Plate Armor. It is a 4-cost item that gives you can tap it to give a character a resist 2 for the turn. That'll enable you to survive more of your challenges with your allies to exert Scar and gain more card draw. So let me know what you guys think. Are you going to be building Scar? Is this a deck that you think that you'll be interested in going forward? I personally really think Scar is a really great card. I think he has a ton of potential. I think he works out in a lot of colors. Even if you're just drawing 3 cards and discarding dead cards, he's just a really good card to have, especially in a format where there is not a lot of card draw. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, ding the notification if you want to be alerted to whenever we post any Lorcana content. We have a bunch of it, and it's really exciting. Don't forget to go check me out on my socials. I appreciate each and every one of you who comes in, follows. I've been chatting a lot more on Twitter. I've been getting really good at doing that. So hopefully you guys love talking about Lorcana, because I quite enjoy talking about Lorcana. As always, friends, stay safe out there. Have yourselves a great day, night, week, month, year, whenever you're watching this video. And don't forget, I will see you when I see you. Bye.